welcome along. This is Thankful Thursday, and today's topic is
the power of now.
the power of now. Because in fact, today is a book club. One of the books that's really inspired us in our lives.
Exactly.
God,
yeah.
it was so hard to read the first time though.
Oh, wasn't it? You know, actually, the first time I actually just bought a CD, and I played it repeat overnight in my room while I was sleeping.
Oh, okay. And how did that work out?
Well, I don't know. It must have worked out
Because when I tried to read it, it was like this wasn't making any sense at all, and I just felt like I had to keep. Well, in fact, I just put it away. I didn't even read it the first time.
Yeah.
I had got it on my Kindle, and so the first bit that I got, I'd actually just got a sample, so I hadn't paid for it or anything.
Yeah.
And I thought, this doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah, and it's interesting though, because so many spiritual books are like that, aren't they? Where you pick them up and you start them and you go, this is absolute gobbledygook. It totally doesn't make any sense. The guy's weird. Put it down. And,
That's right.
And then come back 3 years later.
Yeah, exactly. The pain body? What do you mean by pain body?
Exactly. But I love the term pain body now.
Yeah.
But back then I was like, this makes no sense.
And then how can you stop thinking, so we're giving you a bit of a taste of what the book's about, but part of it is kind of like, well, I live in my head. My head is really important to me, and how can I stop thinking? And what would happen if I don't think?
Yes.
How am I going to live my life?
Yes. Exactly, and but it's just, so I think what we're saying is that you have to be ready for a book, and you will find out when you're ready, because you'll be called to it. It will fall off the shelf. You'll walk past the bookshelf and you'll say, oh, that book that I tried 3 times to read finally looks like a good book to read right now.
Yeah. And what is that Power of Now book that's on the shelf? Oh, it might just be. For me, it was actually somebody saying, oh, have you read The Power of Now? And I go, oh, I tried to, but I haven't really read it. And then that something in the ear just prompts you to do it. And now it just makes complete sense, because as we were just talking about, we've really just power read it, or you've listened to it again over the past couple of days, just to make sure that we've, refreshed our minds so that we can talk to you about it. And now it makes so much sense that you don't have to worry about your problems, because actually it's your life situation. And if you take a breath, you're sitting down. What exactly is going on right now?
Yeah, and right now, this is what's happening.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And if there is something that you have to plan for and arrange or whatever, do that right now. But don't churn about it in your mind.
Yes.
Make a plan and carry it out. Do it, but do whatever you can for it right now.
Exactly, like that, taking action in the moment. And it's, don't worry about the 100 things that you have to do, but just do the one thing that must be done now. And like you just said, the one thing that must be done right now could be writing a plan. For the 100 things that do need to be done.
That's right. And so, the idea of just starting, just take that moment of, right, well, I'm going to sit down. I'm not going to analyse what's going to happen or what has happened. Just where am I right now?
I think he does it so well, because so many spiritual traditions teach the whole power of now, right?
Well, it's sort of interwoven into them all.
It is, because basically what they're saying is, like, the only moment that you have to be in is this moment, and actually eternity resides in this moment. And there is no past and there is no future. And I think because we're so stuck in this time consciousness, which even Einstein said is like time and space are an illusion, and then obviously other spiritual teachers say the same. We construct the past and we construct the future in the moment, and it pulls us out of completely being anchored in now.
And I think that's one of the things I love about yoga.
Yes.
And the powerfulness of it by making you do something within your body right now. Yoga is not something you have to think about or plan for, or think about what happened last time, or think about what's happening next. You're in the moment doing it right now. And I think that's why it's been so good for me. And I you know, and that's why we're doing what we do, because we think that yoga will transform you.
Absolutely. Well, yoga, I think when I'm practicing yoga, there's nowhere else I can be. You know?
Yeah.
I can't be in the past. I can't be in that argument. I can't be worried about what I'm going to say to anyone else, because I'm so, and particularly I think the way that we teach is we are drawing people into their body, and your body is your lived experience of life now. And we're drawing people into their breath, and your breath brings you right to, because it's your mind that takes you out of the present moment.
Yeah. So all that thinking, and you know, I think both of us have talked about before that we grew up being cherished and valued for our thinking and our minds, which you know, it takes away the rest of our body, really, doesn't it? Or this little bit, you know, which is
the frontal lobe was just superior to every other part of me,
and that we both were just walking around things, items to carry our brains around. Until we found, till I found yoga.
Same for me.
Till you found yoga.
Yeah.
And so the ideas in the power of now means that we're completely turning that on its head.
Yeah, well, I mean, and Eckart Tolle speaks about that in The Power of Now so much, is that the body is the doorway to your present of being. The body is the deepest doorway to finding the bliss of the moment, finding the consciousness of how you are in the moment, and letting go of everything else. So you can't detach from your physical body. And classical yoga teaches that. It's about kind of detach and get out there. But we teach a different philosophy where it's non-dual, and it's all about getting embodied. And so it was quite refreshing to hear Eckart Tolle say that over and over again, is actually, no, do not run from the body, move into the body and really connect to the physical experience, and notice the sensations in your body right now. Notice the pain, and notice how deep your breathing is, and notice where you might be not feeling anything, you might be numb, and just notice. And the more that you anchor in the now, the less you get let go, the less judgmental and critical and analytical you are, and you can just experience.
That's right, because your breath, now that is just such an anchoring point for being in the now, because if you didn't take the next breath, you wouldn't be here at all.
Totally.
So the idea that you're taking breath in and out, and that breath's gone. You haven't had the next breath. There it comes now. And that really is focusing you completely on the moment that you have. And you know, we've all got people in our lives who don't have those moments anymore.
Yes.
You know, and so those are the things that can, sometimes they're the things that actually focus you down into your self anyway. You know, I've talked about it before, but my sister died when she was 44, just really suddenly, and so all of a sudden you've got that loss in your life, and you know, then she just becomes a memory, really. And so it was very sobering and made me really conscious of making sure that I lived my best life every moment, because you know, one moment you're here and the next moment you might not be. So let's live our best lives. And so dwelling on all the things that I might have done wrong, or people, whatever, in the past, that's just an illusion, because it's just those connections in your brain that have collected up little snippets of the world in the past, because you can't remember everything.
No.
And then if you're worried about what's going to happen in the future, that's brain power that's going on something that hasn't even happened yet.
Yep.
So now is the only moment that we've got.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because he's like, well, in the now, like you've already said, you have to like, what problem do you really have? Like, and I remember using that technique many times in the course of my life, where I would be starting to like overthink something, or get into pain, or feel grief, or feel sorry, and there's actually no avoidance of those emotions either, because fundamentally I believe that in the moment, if I'm feeling sad, then I need to feel sad. and I need to express that.
Feel it.
Yes.
But feel it.
Yeah.
Not think it.
No.
But actually feel
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a body thing.
Yes, but most of us, like from childhood, are trained to stuff it down or remove it, and then it gets trapped in the body. And then it kind of comes out in all kinds of weird ways, like pulling you out of the present moment because you keep going back to the pain of that memory that's stored in your body versus...
Or selecting a partner that's going to repeat that for you as well.
Yes. And he talks about that, doesn't he, in terms of the, friends who keep having the abusive relationship.
Yeah.
And it's because the power of now brings you into this consciousness of your own being in the moment. And from this conscious place, you're connecting to a higher self, right? And most of us are walking around unconscious, right? And the unconsciousness just simply means, from a yoga perspective, and also from what Eckart Tolle said, was the unconsciousness is you not being aware of your samskara or your history and how that plays out in your life.
Yeah, on a day-to-day basis.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the person who chooses the toxic partner time and time again, they are trapped in their unconscious conditioning and keep repeating the same cycle. And it's not until you become conscious and you draw the power of now,
this moment,
into it, and you go, hang on a minute, I'm just waking up to the fact that I want to change this pattern. And it might not be, terribly serious, but I mean, it's the idea of overeating or over-exercising or under something or other else. It's those unconscious patterning, and we talk about that all the time, the unconscious patterning, and so we're trying to bring those to the conscious part of your being. So you say, well, actually, I don't feel like I need to do that, or if I do feel like I need to do that, I'm aware of it. And I'm doing it in the moment. I'm not doing it because of some habit that's happened or some unknown future that we're preparing for. We're doing it for now. And for sure, you have to have some kind of consciousness of living your life in the world. So there's, the thing you might need to do now is plan, as we were just saying before. Yep.
But that's in the moment. It's not worrying about the future or regretting the past.
Yes, and also too, like there's the creating the plan and then trusting in God's plan as well. Like, and trusting in the higher plan. So we have plans for our lives. We've got a vision for our business. We have personal visions for our own lives. And we've brought into the light of our own being this conscious awareness of how we want to be in the world. We're clear about our values. We're clear about a whole lot of things. A lot of people aren't, right? It's all unconscious conditioning. But then on top of like us being quite clear and conscious and aware of what it is we want, I think we also have that ability to respond to what gets delivered to us as well. So there's no forcing, there's no demand, there's no worry. It's just
being open. Yeah.
Here we are in the moment, and
this is what's happening.
Yeah. and because I'm open to what's happening, it doesn't mean I need to freak out, control, have a meltdown, or whatever it might be. It's just, this is what it is.
That's right.
Yeah.
So if you've been thinking that the power of now has turned up in your life a few times, it might be just time to start reading it.
Yes.
And if it's turned up before and you didn't kind of get it, you might like to try it again.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's the kind of book that every time you read it, something new will occur to you.
Absolutely. And, I've listened to it a few times because I've had it while I've gone walking and everything. And actually, over the past few weeks, as I've listened to it again and again and again, it's like, heck, I didn't hear that last time.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that piece around women and their partners, or I didn't hear that piece around this and this. And so where you are in the moment, it will find a way of speaking to you too.
Yeah. So we look forward to hearing what you think about it, and we'd love to hear your comments. So do write something to us or leave a comment underneath this. Okay.
Namaste.
Namaste.